Hi there, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Shauna, and I am with ADP. Today, we're going to take you through a webinar that's going to help you understand the new exciting features that are going to be available with the latest release of Workforce Now. We're going to get to that shortly, but before we jump in, just a few housekeeping notes. We will be taking questions throughout the presentation via the chat window, so please feel free to shoot a question our way. In addition, if you happen to get disconnected, please just dial back in and you'll be able to resume the presentation. So with all that said, I'm going to hand it over to our Product Marketing Manager for Workforce Now in Canada, Imran Ahmed. Imran, take it away.
Hey, Shauna. Thanks so much for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Excited to be here and excited to show you all the new features that we have coming. I just have a little ADP disclaimer that the information contained in this presentation is directional in nature and is subject to change. So on that note, let's jump into our roadmap process and understand how are we developing ADP Workforce Now. So deciding where to spend our time, what functionality to add or enhance is a continuous process, and it determines what we add to the product roadmap and when. As you know, our focus is always on the user of Workforce Now, and the term user is broader than the HR or payroll practitioner. It includes the managers, supervisors, employees, executives, and the business itself. So we're always asking ourselves how our solutions can add the most value and how can we best help our users doing their job. We study, observe, collect as much input and information as we can. We listen to our associates and clients. We conduct research in our innovation labs. We discuss the future of our product with our advisory councils, and we observe the market trends. Changes to the product can be very small at sometimes, such as the wording, placement, a button is here, it gets moved, it's visible, improving responsiveness for the instance. In this presentation, we'll only show a few selection of the product enhancements and the additions that have a larger impact. So another way of looking at the roadmap is how it adds value to your organization. Flawless payroll processing, staying compliant with the current laws and regulations is hugely important, but human capital management can be so much more for your organization. In our roadmap, we focus on adding value by engaging the workforce, making sure that your human capital management system is not isolated and connects with the system in your organization. And thirdly, by providing insights to your workforce to support informed decision-making throughout your business. So let's talk about what's coming in the spring release. It's packed with valuable enhancements, and we'll discuss each of these additions and enhancements in more detail. So first up is time and labor, where we'll be talking about team dashboards. So team dashboards. What if you could have all the time-related information summarized for your entire team on the page? Sounds great, right? The new team dashboards presents you with what you need to see when you need to see it, so you never miss a beat with your team-related time and attendance tasks. The dashboard provides you and shares you with a snapshot of what needs your attention. You can view upcoming time off for your team to help you manage the schedule coverage. Who's in so you can effectively delegate work across your team. How great is that? So each of the tiles or cards on the dashboard shows you the high-level information, and by clicking in the upper right corner, you can bring in more details. So here's an example. The information on who's in will show a list of their names, their schedule, duration, and also even their contact information. So here's another example of how the team dashboard will make your life easier. You no longer need to hunt through time cards to find the ones that are ready for your approval, so it'll cut your time down significantly. The time card approval page displays only those time cards that are ready for you to approve, so easy and efficient. And on this page, you can quickly view totals and approve those time cards. So let's take for an example, if an employee hasn't actually approved their time card, now you can easily send a time card approval reminder so they can submit their time cards for approval. Easy, right? Another thing to note, you can actually document notes on specific time cards. And even more, you can have easy access to employee time cards if you need additional information. And at the bottom of this page, you can review the actions you need to take in order for you to reach 100% time card approval for your team. Pretty crazy. Good, right? So moving over to time and labor scheduling UX enhancements. In the fall release of Workforce Now, we made quite a few enhancements to the user experience. More in particular, making it very easy to select, schedule, and change shifts. This screenshot here shows you how multiple shifts can be selected by honestly simply holding down the shift key. So now if you want to change multiple shifts, you want to select multiple shifts, you can simply hold down that shift key and select all the shifts you would like and make any action on them. Okay, so now we're going on to performance and compensation. What we'll be talking about is goals management. So on to goals management. Now managers will be able to access the goals dashboard that is driven by insights to take appropriate actions. So they can view current and historical goals of their direct reports as well as indirect employees based on their access permissions, of course. They can also navigate through the organizational hierarchy to quickly get the employees across their organization. Also, managers can view a summary of goals for each employee depicting the status of the employees on their corresponding goals. So what does that actually mean? Well, let's dive into it. Pending approval, so that basically means goals that are pending approval for the state of creation, updates, or deletion. Not started, self-explanatory, goals that are active but have 0% achievement. In progress, goals that are active with more than 0% achievement. Completed is a goal that's obviously completed. And then rejected are goals that are rejected status after creation, any updates or deletion. So that kind of gives you a summary of the goals management page. And I just wanted to point out that this feature only applies to the performance dashboard tool. So managers can also drill down the goals of individual employees to see more details on their progress towards achieving their goals. The dashboards are color-coded to enable any immediate actions needed. When a manager wants to add comments, modify goals, they can just click on a specific goal to further drill down on details. So like I said, once you click on a specific goal, you can drill down and get more details on that goal. You can check out the statuses, the achievement, the start date, the milestones they've achieved, and any other recent updates they've actually done to their goal. So goals can be defined using SMART attributes, to help employees have granular success criteria to achieve their goals. We've also introduced milestones which can be defined with the overall goal period. This helps employees clearly understand various milestones they need to achieve in order to successfully complete those goals. So I'm going to talk about a bit the support for multiple goal types. Practitioners can create organizational goals at the organizational level, and then they can assign them to multiple employees. How? By navigating to the process, under talent, and then under performance goals. They also have the ability to create personal or team goals for employees by navigating to people, and then talent, and then the performance goals. Managers can create a personal goal or team goal for employees. They have access to direct or indirect reports, and it's all based on access permissions, of course. However, managers actually can't edit an organization goal that has been assigned to employees. So employees can create a personal goal for themselves, of course. They can update the progress of the team or organization goals that have been assigned to them, but will not be able to change the definition of such goals. Also, I want to touch on goal updates and audit trails. Employees, managers, practitioners, they can make frequent updates to goals as required. But when they try to view the progress of a goal, they will now actually be able to see all the updates made on a goal, starting with the most recent updates. All right, so now we're going to jump into platform, which we're going to touch a bit on reporting enhancements. Okay, so into reporting enhancements. So some of you might have said, what if you could preview the contents report without actually running it? Sounds good, right? Because, you create a report, and you do all this customization. You're not sure if that content is what you're looking for. So why not preview it before you actually run it? Makes sense, right? So with one of the enhancements to reporting, we've actually created an easy way to know what data will be put into the report. So you don't waste time running the report and looking at it, then going back. Here you can just preview it before it's run. Simple. So here's a basic report I've generated. I've included the fields I want, the currency, job title, effective date, annual salary. So all employee information that you kind of want to see. And then I'm like, you know what, I don't really want to run it and then have to go back into it. So I can actually preview it beforehand. So you see a little icon comes up, says view image. You can actually click on that image and you can actually see the report that would be generated, so you're happy with what the results will be. So we're saving one of the best for last. This is one of my personal favorites. It's Field Grabber. So, again, what if you could drag or move the Field Grabber icon around? You're not restricted to, the certain items that it was before. So with the new spring release, you actually have the ability to move the icon around. The icon will remain in green even after you log out and log back in. And you can see the active Field Grabber with a single click. So anytime you want to grab a field, you can simply click on that Field Grabber to highlight that field. So continuing on Field Grabber, what if you could see similar reports while creating a Field Grabber report? Sounds cool, right? You may have forgotten about similar reports you created in the past. You might have forgotten about the ADP template reports that are provided to you and that meet your requirements. But now you have the ability to actually see similar reports and even grab fields from report preview of those similar reports. So now you might be thinking, well, what if I could modify existing reports using Field Grabber? You want to add some fields in there to an existing report that you couldn't necessarily do before. So now we've come out with a way to modify existing reports by adding fields directly from pages in ADP Workforce Now using Field Grabber. So, I'm coming from a practitioner side of view. They will actually appreciate the increased efficiency and flexibility this offers them when they actually have to run reports ad hoc or they have to create custom reports that aren't built into the system. We've made it easier for managers, practitioners, and even executives, if they wanted to create reports as need be. I want to say thank you so much for attending today's webinar.